Wow, it's another Wednesday night. The days are flying fast. Now, could it be because of the 2019 expectations? Well, you know how it is when something big is in the offing. And what could be bigger than the general elections in February next year? Now, talking about elections, we have so much on in tonight's package of News Extra, the news program that comes to you with an extra touch. But before the political stories come up, we'll share something related to politics with you. Good governance. We will. The Federal Executive Council's reaction to Nigeria's post-recession status. We will follow this up with some infrastructure stories that government is doing to further grow the economy. Also tonight, we shall visit the National Assembly and see what the federal lawmakers are up to. As usual, there are stories on business, empowerment, sports, and much more. Have you been following the biggest story in the polity these days? The Electoral Act Amendment Bill. How can we do News Extra without it? Now, all these we have lined up for your information, education, and entertainment. So sit back, relax, and let's start from where I should have started in the first place. Good evening and welcome to News Extra. I am Fatima Abbas Hassan. Thank you for joining us. The Federal Executive Council has described as encouraging, fulfilling, and reassuring that since existing recession, Nigeria's economy has maintained steady growth, especially in the non-oil sector. Now, this followed extensive deliberations on the third quarter GDP estimates released by the National Bureau of Statistics. State House correspondent Adam Sambu reports on this and other resolutions of the Council.
With President Muhammadu Buhari presiding, the Federal Executive Council was briefed by the Minister of Budget and National Planning, Udoma on the 2018 third quarter GDP report. Members were indeed full of high-spirited delight with the report indicating that the nation's economy grew by 1.81% in the third quarter as against the 1.5% in the second quarter of 2018. The NBS report shows that Nigeria's economic growth is continuously driven by the non-oil sector, which grew by 2.32%, with agriculture and manufacturing growing at 1.91 and 1.92% respectively. This has been the strongest non-oil GDP growth in 12 consecutive quarters since the fourth quarter of 2015.
Council was most encouraged by this result. It shows improvement in the economy. It shows that our plans are working. It also shows that we need to intensify and keep faith with our reforms through continuous implementation of the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan in order to continue to attract investments and set the economy on a more sustainable and inclusive growth trajectory.
On his part, the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, secured the approval of the Council for the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, to enhance the security of the nation's maritime domain.
The contract, worth $22.995 million, was approved for 6 companies to protect 6 sections of the coastal waterways, and the 22 million is converted at 305, amounting to 7 billion and 13 million naira.
In the meantime, members of the council held a special valedictory session in honor of the outgoing Minister of State for Environment, Ibrahim Usman Jibrin. President Muhammadu Buhari formally accepted the minister's resignation following his appointment as the new Emir of Nasarawa.
There is no doubt that I have personally learned a lot from your sense of fairness to all, your commitment to the entire nation, and your desire to fight corruption to a standstill.
Enumerating the giant strides recorded by the Ministry of Environment in the last 3.5 years, Mr. Jibrin said tremendous progress has been made regarding the Ogoni cleanup in the Niger Delta, which he described as the most high-profile and politicized project.
We have moved this project to the point of issuing letters of contract for the contractors who will do the remediation work. There will be a project meeting in Port Harcourt where the contractors will be handed over their sites. 15 or 16 locations will be done in the first place. There are 5 more that are with BPP, which will later on come to the Federal Executive Council. There are additional 14 lots, which tenders are being issued now. And as I stand before you today, the oil companies have released $180 million for this project. Because of the integrity of Mr. President and the way and manner he supervised this thing assiduously, I thank you, Mr. President, for giving me the rare honor to move this process to, I believe, a point of no return.
Before vacating his ministerial seat to formally assume responsibility as the 13th Emir of Nasarawa, Mr. Jibrin also secured the approval of the Council for additional funding by the World Bank towards addressing environmental challenges, especially erosion in the southeast. And his parting words to Council members work assiduously towards returning President Muhammadu Buhari to power in 2019 in the best interests of Nigeria. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Many thanks, Adamu. Now, imagine where Nigeria would have been if it was free from abandoned or white elephant projects. Surely, you won't be wrong if your answer is one of the best countries on earth. Well, the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is steadily changing the narrative by completing all valuable but abandoned projects across the country. Works and Housing correspondent Mohammed Hamza Sheikh, just back from the South-South zone, tells us the story of one of the most viable projects in the country, the Bodo Boni Road project.
The Bodo Boni Bridge project is perhaps one of the most important projects in the whole of the South-South region. But this is a project that has suffered neglect for several years from the various past governments. Now, changing the narratives, the government of Muhammadu Buhari has now rekindled the hope of all the communities and, in fact, the whole zone that this project has come alive. The history of Bodo Boni Road project is no doubt a pathetic one. Contract for the project was first awarded in 1998 but could not take off due to hostilities among host communities, kidnappings, armed robbery and other criminalities. It was re-awarded in 2002 and work commenced in 2003 but could not continue due to the twin problems of lack of funding and capacity of the contractor. And it was not until 2014 when the contract was finally determined and eventually terminated. To show total commitment to the execution of the project, the Buhari administration on coming to power studied the project and re-awarded its contract to a competent contractor in 2017 at the cost of 120.6 billion naira.
The bonds are already there. This, I think, is a collaborative effort within LNG and Federal Ministry of Power Works and Housing. That's why you see the speed of the work and because.
To ensure steady progress on the project, the federal government set aside 60 billion naira for compensation of property within the project construction with, while the 7-man peace committee set up by the Minister of Power, Works and Housing is yielding positive results. The host community now embrace the project wholeheartedly, as confirmed by the progress of work so far.
I feel great because this is where I earn my living, so I feel better working here. Definitely, I feel good. The work's a nice work. From the federal government, we are expecting kind of things since right now. I think what we are doing here, we are okay doing it.
Work on the Bodo Boni Road project consists of construction of a 39-kilometer single carriageway road from Bodo through the swamps and creeks to Boni in Rivers State. Bridges are to be constructed at the creeks of Apa, Opobo, and Nanabie, as well as 2 other small bridges. Muhammad Hamza Sheikh, NTA News.
Well, now that the Christmas season is here, road travel in the year is rising to an all-time high. I'm sure you know the nightmare and safety implications of bad roads. Well, for commuters flying the Minna-Suleja Highway, it will be smooth sailing as attention is now focused on the failed portions of the carriageway. Mukhtar Abubakar Wowo reports that the measure is part of the federal government's effort to make major roads motorable this end-of-year period.
There is usually high volume of traffic on most of the highways in the country during the ember months. In an effort to stop or reduce to the barest minimum carnage on the roads, the federal government embarked on emergency repairs on some of the roads. The Suleja Minna Road, Jeba Bokani Junction, Bida Lambata Road, and Minna Tegina Road are among the federal roads selected for the emergency repairs in Niger State.
The one that we propose, we are going to do either by direct labor with FEMA or whatever, which is now going to be Minna to Tegina.
Before we are talking about 3 hours or 2 hours 30 before we are entering Suleja, but now highest 1 hour 30 minutes.
We commend the government for their efforts in seeing that the road is motorable for now.
On Suleja Minna Road, work is ongoing as part of the Niger State intervention to fix the remaining about 1 kilometer failed portion to link it to where the federal government rehabilitation stopped. However, motorists are still worried over the deterioration of some parts of the Minna-Suleja Road.
From Kwakuti backward to Minna, it's something else. You can barely maintain a particular speed for 2 minutes without applying brakes.
We still plead for their more effort, especially from Kwakuti now to Frendoki. The potholes are just too many.
It is even part of the contract that initially awarded to them to come back and address the failing sections from Kwakuti back to Minna.
The indiscriminate parking of these heavy-duty and articulated vehicles on the road is one of the major challenges faced by motorists as they sometimes causes gridlock on the road. Mukhtar Abubakar, NTA News.
Now, let me ask you, what springs to mind when you hear words like unity, progress, and prosperity? I'm sure without being preemptive, these are choice words that are heartwarming and promising on the path of achievement and successes. Well, if we are on the same page, the next story re-echoes their underlying manifestation when the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, witnessed a large turnout of people as he monitored progress achieved towards the completion of the Lokoja-Oweto Bridge and associated infrastructure. Here is Hamza Musa Makarfi with the details.
The arrival of the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, who had a busy schedule in southeast Nigeria, and his colleague of Agriculture, Audu Ogbe, electrified the people who converged on solidarity with the Buhari administration for continuing work on the project, whose completion target was not actualized in 2015 due to funding gaps. Controller of Works Nasarawa State, Wasiu Tayo, gave briefing on the status of work, saying progress has been made on the project with a robust payment initiative. To the people of Nasarawa and Benue states, the bridge is a connection between their dream and reality.
I mean, the chiefs and the local government officials are here, and there is really a lot of excitement.
I overwhelmed because before, if you are coming from Notukpo to Oweto, you will spend about 2 days on the road. But now, within 30 minutes, 25 minutes, you are already at Oweto.
I am like an Oliver Twist. I need more from the federal government.
In addition to the bridge, there are on either side of Benue and Nasarawa states Otukpo Oweto Road by a different contractor, which is complete, and another doing Nasarawa Loco with more work to do.
Once you invest the way President Buhari is doing in roads, in bridges like this. So this is the foundation. The prosperity is about to begin.
Chief Aduagbe says a new opportunity for agricultural development in Nigeria is in the making.
And as the farmers can see, when this bridge is finished, you will see lorries from Abuja, from Kano, coming here to load beans, to load rice, to load yams.
With the momentum of work, this alternative route to Benue State and beyond from Abuja through Nasarawa State may just be a matter of time for that dream to come to fruition. From Loko Oweto Bridge, Hamza Musa Magarpi, NTA News.
As to talking about infrastructure development, we take a look at the railway subsector. Despite the initial hiccups during the remodernization of the nation's railway system, there is light at the end of the tunnel. This is following recent efforts to commence operation on several rail routes across the country to enable better connectivity and ease of doing business.
The history of railway transportation in Nigeria dates back to the colonial era, when the railway was used basically to move cargoes and passengers from and within the hinterlands to the seaports of Lagos and Port Harcourt. The continuous usage led to its deplorable state and even near abandonment. But government has decided to resuscitate the rail system so as to harness the benefits in its operations. This has led to the modernization of the over 1,600 kilometer rail line across the country from a narrow gauge line to the standard gauge. While some are completed, others are nearing completion.
We pray we succeed with what we are doing, because that is the way to go. You can see the gridlock at Apapa. If we are able to move as we are supposed to move, those problems will not be there. So we are moving because the infrastructure we have is not enough. The locomotive is not enough. The wagon is not enough. So if we can move, let's say about 5 trains from Apapa every day of 20 wagons, that is clearing about 125 trailers off our roads. You know the impact of that.
Despite these breakthroughs, there are some identified challenges that have impeded the completion date of these rail projects.
When they came, they ensured that the Abuja Canal was completed in 6 months, and they immediately took over from the other segment. And the best way to go about it is to move from the seaport to the hinterland, which they have started by doing Lagos to Ibadan.
Encroached into the rail corridor, which gave us lots of challenges to access the site. But as I mentioned to you right now, the Minister of Transportation is trying his best to tackle these challenges.
With the pace of work so far, if sustained, it is expected that before the end of the first quarter of next year, this train should be running on this track. The Managing Director, Nigeria Railway Corporation, Fidat Okiria, also added that the Warri-Itakwe train service has started operations free of charge, and Nigerians can take advantage of the service.
That is not going to be the schedule, but for this time that is going to be scheduled, because it should be a train going up and a train coming down at the same time. But for this iron road, while we are trying to complete the station building and the sligging and communication work, so we have to go at that pace for now.
In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
Now, water is life. Well, for those who have easy access to it, it is good old water. But for those who don't have access to it, that adage makes more sense. For the over 8,000 residents of Ayede Ogbese community in Ondo State, the good life just began, as they have finally been provided with one of the basic needs of life, water. Understandably, the people are celebrating, and guess who joined them in rejoicing? The Minister of Water Resources, Suleiman Adamu. Doris Olumoko reports that the project is an initiative of the Ondo State government.
The masquerades in Ogbese do not come out every day, but this is not an ordinary day. That their agonizing experience in the search for water has finally come to an end is worth celebrating. The provision of water to the community, which is the result of government's two-pronged approach to revitalize water supply, sanitation and hygiene in Ondo State, utilizing slightly different strategies.
The scheme is designed to have 5-kilometer reticulation and distribution network with a storage tank of 50 meters square, 50,000 liters capacity that would discharge at full capacity twice a day, making 100,000 liters per day.
What is Supreme President can reticulate as if we have it from water, what we call water corporation in those days. All those ones are coming from dams and coal, but here now, so that a lot of money is involved in going about that.
But the key thing is sustainability. When we're the ones we're able to rehabilitate and the new ones we're doing, we must be able to ensure that the communities own them, manage them, operate them themselves. So this scheme, if it works, is going to be a good template for the rest of the country.
So far, about 800 boreholes have been rehabilitated in 103 communities in Ondo State within the last 7 months. From Ayede Ogbese in Akure North Local Government Area of Ondo State, Doris Olumoko, NTA News.
INEC on delivery of election materials ahead of 2019 general elections. The details of these and more when we come back after the break. Join us again.
Are you all right?
Hospital, all night, emergency.
We are losing her.
Don't worry, I'll save her. Driver!
What is wrong with you?
Building burnt down.
What?
It was life or death.
He said fuck.
I've got the dog! Hey, Mr. Man, wake up!
Yeah! This is Sparta!
My resignation letter, sir.
Glow Ogasin, the unrivaled big boss of data. Get 125% bonus on all data plans. Also enjoy unconditional 25% data bonus non-stop on all auto renewals. Dial *777# to choose a plan.
The Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Dr. Emmanuel Ibe Kachukwu, cordially invites stakeholders to a public presentation of 3 years key achievements of the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and its agencies and awards to outstanding staff of the Ministry and its parastatals. Date, Thursday, 13th December 2018. Venue, Petroleum Technology Development Fund, PTDF Auditorium, PTDF House, opposite Shehu Musa Yero Adwa Center, CBA, Abuja. Time, 8:30 a.m. Special guest of honor, Vice President, His Excellency, Professor Yemi Usibanjo. All attendees are expected to be seated by 8 a.m. prompt. Dr. Folashade Yemi Esan, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Petroleum Resources. Announcer.
Hello.
Hi, Jenny. Can you supply 1,000 bottles of juice by noon?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, bye.
Hello.
One day, I go any store and say I want everything.
Jenny, auntie, please, I need a loan.
One day, anything I want, hurry up. Get it times 2. Someday, I'll be living.
Hello.
Sorry, me lower.
Clean that up.
Because I don't get the money, you downgrade me. Sorry, me lower.
Your order is on the way.
Are you an entrepreneur looking for financing to grow a business? I have good news for you. Development Bank of Nigeria now provides sustainable financing through commercial banks, microfinance banks, and other financial institutions with repayment terms of up to 10 years. Please do remember, paying back your loan in good time will give you access to more loans.
Development Bank of Nigeria, financing sustainable.
You no be like before again, no. Now many more Nigerians they suffer inside poverty. They no fit get better food, better house, better education and healthcare. Unlike 20 years ago, as it be so, now to encourage families to bond the number of people with them fit take care of, so that them go comot them family and themselves from poverty and reduce economic hardship. Thank God for family planning or childbirth spacing. With them, plenty families go fit dey live better lives. As leader where you be, the solution dey your hand, and wetin you need to do now to take action now. All we lawmakers and government people them must make sure say them put enough money down. We go make sure say childbirth spacing services where plenty people they also call family planning services go reach everybody. Our pastors, imam and traditional leaders suppose open mouth to tell them people about the better thing we family planning did. We must join hand and get it together, make our future for bright. Now Federal Ministry of Health they bring on this message.
His Royal Highness the Emir of Mubi Emirate Council, Alhaji Abubakar Issa Amadu, CFR, cordially invites the general public to the turbaning ceremony of Professor Ladi Hamalai, MFR, the Director General, National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies as Jakadia Mubi. Date, Saturday, 15th December 2018, time 10 a.m. Venue, Emir's Palace, Mubi, Adamawa State, Nigeria. Announcer, Secretary, Mubi Emirate Council.
developing the nation's human resource.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global.
It's good to know that you're out there watching News Extra tonight. Now, time and tide wait for no man. And so INEC is not looking back on its journey to February 16th, 2019. I tell you, it is a journey of no return. Another critical component of its 14-point agenda for the election has been sealed. That is, logistics delivery. 80,000 vehicles will be on election duty. How was this achieved? And what are the special features expected from these vehicles to ensure safe and timely delivery? Let's hear from May Ogidi.
Polling units, and I want to give this commitment to the nation, will open at 8 a.m. nationwide.
The realization of this pledge largely depends on the availability and prompt delivery of election materials. So, 80,000 vehicles belonging to these three transport unions, among other functions, is to deliver the election materials and personnel to all the polling units nationwide. The dotting of the lines by the parties sealed the agreement, an essential component of the electoral process. So, drastic measures were equally taken.
As your participation in the delivery of electoral logistics requires absolute neutrality and impartiality, we shall track the movement of all vehicles electronically and real time, as we did in some of the more recent elections. I want to inform the unions that we will not only track electronically, we will also eavesdrop on the conversations taking place in the vehicles.
That is for the INEC, and for the service providers and regulators.
We are going to make the vehicle available 24 hours before the election with the names of the driver, the number of the vehicles, the telephone of the driver for easy contact.
We are able to satisfy those vehicles to be roadworthy and of a minimum safety standard. We're already in top gear arrangement for that, planning to do that, and even to give the drivers to handle those vehicles some training.
For INEC, the election year, that is 2019, is looking brighter by the day. Mie Ogidi, NT News.
Now, the House of Representatives caucus of the APC has thrown its weight behind President Muhammadu Buhari, withholding his assent to the amended electoral bill passed by the National Assembly. The leader of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, announced this after a closed-door meeting of members. He said it is not proper for the president to sign an imperfect document, stressing that the decision of the president is for the interests of Nigerians, not to be disenfranchised in the 2019 general elections.
And has refused to sign, which we identify with, is that every vote must count in Nigeria. We've been mouthing this thing, singing this thing for ages. This bill that was sent to Mr. President, and we raised it on the floor at the time of consideration, it says that you can only, the effect of it is that you can only accredit voters through the electronic system. Okay? It forecloses manual registration. When you do that, we were all witness to what happened in the last election, when even the sitting president on channels, your station, could not be registered. Or could not be accredited, I'm sorry. So, what Mr. President has done is to protect everybody in Nigeria.
On the alleged vote buying through the trader money, Mr. Gbajabiamila said it was the National Assembly that approved and appropriated the funds, and therefore it will be wrong for any member of the National Assembly to turn against it.
In Brazil, you find in other countries, in other climes. So do we as a country say, okay, 3 months to elections, 4 months to elections, we're going to stop giving the vulnerable, the poor people, we'll stop taking care of them so that we are not seen as vote buying. No, I think we would need to, all these smoke mirrors, we need to look behind the screen and know that, this is just politics. And
the decline by President Muhammadu Buhari to give assent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill passed by the National Assembly is generating a lot of reactions and is now a major issue for national discourse. However, guests on NTA's Tuesday Live program, cutting across diverse political parties, unanimously agreed that national interest should take precedence. Momso Damien Dati has more on that.
The National Assembly, in an effort considered to be institutionalizing democracy, presented an electoral amendment bill to the president for his assent. The president, however, withheld assent, citing a lot of reasons, including proximity to election, for his decision. A development that generated different reactions, including guests on NTA Tuesday Live.
Did you appropriate for INEC to buy those equipment? What time do you have to purchase these equipment? Have you enlightened the citizens to know that these are what you want to use? Where are the facilities?
It does not matter how late, whatever. The law is the law. And I feel that the president has the right to go ahead and assent to this bill. But
even the US, as advanced as they are, their elections, their systems were hacked. So if you just start with something as massive as this, without prior testing, we could run into some serious crisis and confusion, as Mr. President has said.
In 2015, rather, when the card reader was being debated, it was never tested anywhere. But today, as we gradually moved on, we have card reader failure is about 0.0001%.
Representative of INEC is, however, positive about its improved smart card readers not posing a threat.
The smart card readers are now faster and more robust and contains additional features that will enable the Independent National Electoral Commission to do its work much better. And so it was important that certain things were done to give some form of legal undergird, legal teeth to the use of some of these things.
The National Assembly has a right to, but they have a right to call it back and pass it to law. Is that correct?
Nigerians must not allow some people that are ambitious to take us out of this. We must guide this democracy.
We should not misguide Nigerians that Nigeria will come to an end if the 2018 amendment bill is not signed. Nigeria will not come to an end.
The panelists all agree that the interests of Nigeria should be central in whatever they do. Momso Damien Ati, NTA News.
Well, hope is still rising for a peaceful, free and fair elections come 2019. At least the politicians are assuring us of this. Two of such assurances came from the presidential candidates of the ACPN and the PDP as they appended their signatures on the Abuja Accord for Peaceful Election 2019. Our correspondent Usman Ali was there and our reports.
24 hours after the political parties contesting in the 2019 general elections signed a peace pact for peaceful conduct of the poll, ACPN and PDP candidates who were absent this Wednesday went to the Kuka Center and signed the document. They both pledged to abide by the provisions of the peace accord for the 2019 elections.
Everybody involved in this project cares for peace and want to have a peaceful election. It was not only PDP that was not there yesterday. One or two parties were not there.
To a free, peaceful, fair and credible elections. We have always said that, and we believe in that.
Other candidates who missed the Tuesday event, such as SDP candidate Donald Duke, are expected to also sign the peace accord. In Abuja, Usman Aliu, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Buhari Media Organization has described the belated signing of the Election Peace Pact by the presidential candidates of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, as an afterthought. Atiku had failed to honor the invitation earlier extended to him by the National Peace Committee, led by the former head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar. In a statement by its chairman, Niyi Akinsiju, and Secretary Cassidy Madueke, BMO noted that Atiku had no intention of signing the peace pact, as he and members of his party intended to push out fake news and hate speeches to promote violence and untimely disrupt the 2019 elections, threatening the peace pact was being signed against. The group added that Atiku and the PDP's excuses were flimsy and unbelievable. As all over the media, the news of the signing of the peace pact was everywhere. President Muhammadu Buhari has shown leadership by signing the peace pact despite the absence of Alhaji Abubakar. BMO observed that this example shown by the president is consistent with his approach in the previous presidential elections he had participated, especially in 2015, when he also signed a peace accord with former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. The president has, by signing the peace accord, demonstrated that he cherishes peace and that his government is committed to free and credible elections in 2019. The Buhari Media Organization called on the political class to emulate the example of President Muhammadu Buhari, who has, through his actions, demonstrated the need for all Nigerians to work for peaceful coexistence among all Nigerians, especially as we approach the 2019 general elections. Now, the confluent state has taken its prominent position by taking the lead for the actualization of the re-election bid of President Muhammadu Buhari. Consequently, it is to further reassure the people that the Buhari Support Group Center moved to Lokoja for a stakeholders meeting and inauguration of its office. Madaki Aliyu has details of that report.
That was the mood that heralded the coming of the support group to the venue of the event. The inauguration, which was witnessed by representatives of support groups from the 21 local government areas, has the theme Promoting Continuity Agenda of Mr. President 2019 to the next level. While highlighting the achievements of President Muhammadu Buhari, the meeting urged Nigerians to be steadfast and united as the country is being directed in a positive way to the path of greatness. Director General, Buhari Support Group Center, who is also a former Minister of Petroleum, called on its members to embark on a decent campaign.
This government must take immediate steps to ensure that those discourses do not disturb the peace and the ultimate goal of any government service.
He identified power, economy, security and the anti-corruption war as one of the significant milestones in the Buhari Osinbajo administration. Some members of the Board of Trustees of the Support Group Center also lent their voice at the inauguration.
We are happy to be in the bandwagon. We are happy that we are now ready to go back to the grassroots to tell Nigerians and tell the people of Kogi State that Buhari has delivered. He's done so much that we have no option but to adhere to the massive support.
They want you to continue with that work for the love of Nigeria, for the sake of Nigeria.
The women should join the next level train so that Baba Buhari will take them to the promised lands.
Anywhere I have been with the Buhari support group, you would see that the ordinary people at the real engine room, that the drivers of the Buhari integrity drive.
Support groups from different parts of the state acknowledge that the government has achieved a lot in its span of 3 years and charged Nigerian youths to vote President Muhammadu Buhari again so that their future could be guaranteed. From Lokoja, Madaki Aliyu, NTA News.
Senate passes a bill for an act to establish Southeast Development Commission. We'll be back with the details after these messages.
You know, from day one, Globe makes life easier. They brought us per second billing, unbelievable data packages, and even an optic fiber cable to make sure we optimize. There are two things in our lives we depend on: the communication and information, voice and data. Whether you sell, buy, learn, teach, serve, or lead, it really comes down to those two things: voice or data. Today's world is all about you. You want what you want, how you want it, and Glow delivers. The freedom to use voice and data the way you like on every recharge. Easy.
Glow Yakata. Recharge 100 Naira and get 2,200 Naira. Minimum 500 Naira to call all networks and 10 friends and family. Plus all the data you need. Up to 6 gigabytes. Buy a Glow SIM or dial *220# to migrate. Glow, Grandmasters of Data.
Nigeria we hail. Those who divide our people are getting better at their game. Yet, now we did do ourselves pass. Lecturer they oppress student them. Bus driver they show passenger where. Local government people are terrifying local government people. Campaign people will come and go. Grammar people will remain. So now, many people have become Uncle Thomases, unwilling to desire or work for a better nation. We must continue to push and believe, and small, our prayers will be answered. This education you go get out. These children can go grow and prosper. And this business, it not go spoil for your hand, because Union Bank understands what it means to push through challenges, and together we will clear every doubt when they are our way. Don't be an Uncle Thomas. Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
Pitching the big idea. It doesn't come easy. You've got to give it all you've got. That's right. You got to put in the hours. Roll with the punches and take on the pressure. but you will power through, no matter what. Then step onto that stage and hit them with that idea. You, my friend, are unstoppable. Power Horse. Unstoppable you.
Come join us. Mom says we have more than enough.
Wherever you may travel, this education you go get am. These children can go grow and prosper. And this business, it not go spoil for your hand. Because Union Bank understands what it means to push through challenges. And together, we go clear every doubt when they are away. Don't be an Uncle Thomas. Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
Pitching the big idea. It doesn't come easy. You've got to give it all you've got. That's right. You got to put in the hours. Roll with the punches and take on the pressure. But you will power through, no matter what. Then step onto that stage and hit them with that idea. You, my friend, are unstoppable. Power Horse. Unstoppable you.
Come join us. Mom says we have more than enough.
Wherever you may travel, whoever you will be with, we wish you a supreme Christmas. Be supreme, Nigeria.
Kehinde suffers from indigestion. His twin Taiye suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around, or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts for up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action.
It's the Mexican one.
This festive season, there's no place like home. Get a GoTV decoder and GoTenna and 1 month of GoTV Max subscription for only 6,900 Naira. GoTV. Live it, love it.
Next level. We should begin to use this to position the hub or the clusters of industrial and technological activities.
We have shown today that we are committed to the unity of this country. It is this unity that ensure that we all have faith in our country, Nigeria.
The motion by Senator Mohammed Lafiaji on the avoidable boat accident in Lafiaji, Kwara State, urging the National Inland Waterways Authority to ensure the mandatory use of life jackets by passengers traveling by sea in Nigeria was adopted.
Mandate the Federal Minister of Power, Works and Housing to urgently intervene in the construction of the Lafiaji-Niger State road.
It's quite improper to see a situation where people use water transportation but without adequate safeguards like life jackets.
I am surprised that governors of the states that have these towns bordering rivers have not deemed it necessary to improve on the means of communication of their inhabitants.
Senator Babakaka Garbai's motion for the federal government to immortalize the late Brigadier General Abba Kyari by naming the Kaduna International Airport after him was also adopted.
A high-powered delegation of this hallowed chamber to condole with the family, the people, and government of Borno State.
How he tried at every opportunity he had to propagate the issues of reconstruction after the war,
rehabilitation after the war, and reconciliation.
They observed a minute silence in honor of those who lost their lives in the Lafiaji boat mishap and the late Abba Kyari. Senate confirmed the nomination of 6 persons as chairman and board members of the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation. Meanwhile, the Southeast Caucus in the Senate has commended the entire Senate for passing the Southeast Development Commission bill, as it also urged Mr. President to assent to the bill when transmitted. The Senate had mandated its Committee on Police Affairs to carry out an investigation on the crisis that interrupted legislative activities at Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly. That committee has concluded its investigation and laid its report at plenary. The report will now be considered at a later date from the National Assembly. Ignatius Nkwo, NTN News.
Now, the federal government, over time, has, in what is described as best public interest, privatized some government agencies for better service delivery. But the House of Representatives says there should be reform in the criteria of slating a public property for privatization. To this end, the lawmakers Wednesday plenary directed the Committee on Privatization and Commercialization to invite the Director General Bureau for Public Enterprises for explanations on the planned privatization of Afam Power Generation Company. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali has the details.
The House noted that power plants such as those in Sapele and Ugeli, privatized in 2013 by Bureau for Public Enterprises, are currently financially constrained despite intervention by the Central Bank of Nigeria, and therefore urge government to take another look at the privatization policy.
It is not good to begin to privatize what Nigeria has spent so much money to acquire over time.
If we are going to now also privatize the GEMCOs, which supply the power to the DISCOs, then it is going to negatively impact on the power sector.
Investigations on the Afam power plant's planned privatization will last 4 weeks by the committee towards further legislative action. Other motions adopted at Wednesday's plenary are the need for the National Population Commission to discontinue its alleged plan of charging 4,500 naira for registration of births in view of likely implications, and a call on the Federal Ministry of Works to include rehabilitation of Lokoja Okene Auchi Road in 2019 budget proposal. The lawmakers also passed 6 bills, including the bill amending the Public Holiday Act and the Casino Taxation Act. The report on implementation of the new condition of service for staff of the National Assembly, submitted last week by the House Committee on Public Matters, was adopted as the Committee of the Whole after consideration. In another developments, the Speaker, Yakubu Dogara, while playing host to the Public Complaints Commission, described it as an alternative to the court of law.
Most of us will attest to the fact that litigations these days are very, very expensive. They are painfully expensive. And the culture of ombudsman is a culture that is rooted in democracy.
We intend to have a system where complaints can be, brought in online, and there will be a tracking system where the complainant can sit right in his village and track his complaint until the results are made.
The Commission has offices in all states of the Federation and Abuja. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And away from legislative matters, do you know that money laundering and other financial and cyber crimes are closely linked to terrorism? How, you may ask? Well, let's find out from Naja'atu Tijani, who now knows better, courtesy of a one-day sensitization seminar on forensic investigation for the prevention of such crimes, organized by the National Orientation Agency.
Yes, indeed. Investigations show that financial crimes such as money laundering, fraud, other cyber crimes, and even drug trafficking have been closely linked with terrorism. And this meeting held here at the Army Resource Center is a call for Nigeria to take affirmative action against these crimes by adopting an indigenous forensic investigation system. Experts say it is necessary to take such action owing to the moral decay and financial losses incurred from such crimes. According to the 2017 Nigeria Cybersecurity Report, the country lost an estimated 200 billion naira to cyber crimes, with the banking and telecommunications industries being the worst hit. The emerging field of forensic auditing, which experts like Ugochukwu Onyeka are advocating, has the potential to further redeem Nigeria's image as one of the most corrupt nations in the world.
Because it is systematic in nature, it is the use of computerization that will address it. It's not just normal what you look at surface.
The National Orientation Agency and its partners also agree that it will raise the country's global anti-fraud profile.
And a lot of people need to know the dynamic way of also fighting the crime.
Once we can tackle corruption, every other thing falls in place.
In light of President Buhari's fight against corruption, forensic investigation will provide reliable witnesses and concrete evidence for the administration of justice. Najat Tijani, NTA News.
The Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, says it will not relent in its collaboration with the Central Bank of Nigeria, other agencies in the financial sector, as well as the judiciary, to minimize occurrences of lawful dealings, weak internal control, and overall non-compliance to guidelines. Moplang Dakok reports that this was at a sensitization seminar for Court of Appeal justices with the theme Challenges to Deposit Insurance Law and Practices in Nigeria.
The aim of the seminar by the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, is for judges to be abreast with the workings of the financial services industry in general and the deposit insurance system in particular. This is in recognition of the fact that members of the judiciary are partners in the promotion of financial system stability in the country.
The deposit insurance scheme, which in Nigeria is implemented through the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, is a very critical component of the financial safety net arrangement, and its main objective is to protect depositors, which include all of us here.
Stakeholders underscore the importance of financial technology in the banking sector, noting that this will go a long way to achieving the objectives of the deposit insurance scheme in Nigeria.
The importance of close collaboration and supervision of financial institutions is even more important today, especially with the current application of the banking licenses for 153 microfinance banks and 6 primary mortgage banks by the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Participants were sensitized on the nature of deposit law and the challenges to the law and practice of deposit insurance in Nigeria, as well as their solutions. In Abuja, Moplang Dakok, NTA News.
The Minister of Defense, Mansur Dang Ali, says joint military training allows seamless internal security operation across the country. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the minister said this in a message at the graduation of participants of the Army War College in Abuja. His report.
These are graduates of the Army War College Course 2, 2018. The 67 participants drawn from military and paramilitary agencies were engaged in drills to develop their capacity in peace support, interagency collaboration, leadership and operational planning.
In the business of security, the operational level forms the nucleus of all security operations, as it is the level that interfaces between the tactical and the strategic levels. This underscores the importance of the quality of training provided in the college through the robust curriculum for professional military education at the operational level, aimed at achieving best global standards.
The Army War College was established in February 2017 to produce trained and inspired operational leaders for the Nigerian Army.
So help us God.
Similarly, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuku Buratai, has inaugurated the complex for the headquarters of the Nigerian Army Intelligence Corps situated at Wubasi Barracks.
If you don't use your intelligence to plan your operations, you are bound to fail at all times. You must also work very closely, very, very closely. There should be seamless relationship between the operational cell as well as the intelligence cell. The operational commander must keep handy and ready, the intelligence commander with him.
This building will now afford the Nigerian Army Intelligence Corps the long elusive opportunity to bring together key support formations, some of which will be relocated from Lagos to Abuja to enhance and reinforce the intelligence production activities of the Nigerian Army Intelligence Corps.
The Intelligence Corps was relocated from Lagos to Abuja 12 years ago. Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Now, unregulated movement at sea for human trafficking, narcotics and arms smuggling remains pervasive and an issue of grave concern. It is against this background that the Nigerian Navy says it will not relent in its mandate of adopting international best practices towards tackling maritime security challenges and protecting the nation's infrastructure. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports that this was at the shipping for Rear Admirals at the Nigerian Navy headquarters in Abuja.
The Nigerian Navy's role in protecting the economic base is a major contribution to the security and stability of Nigeria that translates into economic development of the nation. The ever-increasing interest in the Gulf of Guinea, especially with regards to oil, could be a possible source of threat. In view of this, the Navy says it will place premium on capacity building of personnel to ensure competence in effective handling of platforms.
As you know quite well, the operational environment of the service that you have now found yourselves among the ranking cadre is rife with incredible security challenges. Additional to our counter-insurgency responsibilities in the Northeast, these include maritime terrorism, resource theft, and sabotage of their supporting infrastructure. Other notable threats are piracy and armed robbery, which target maritime trade and therefore the economy of the nation.
The Navy commended President Muhammadu Buhari's administration for logistic support to effectively carry out its constitutional responsibility of defending the nation's territorial integrity and maritime domain. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Market days, nightmares of travelers. We'll bring you the report from Dutse, the Jigawa state capital. That's after the break when we return.
You in the air-conditioned office with the itchy throat, Strepsils. Girl in the spotlight with the raspy throat, Strepsils. You in the pollution, it's you, dry throat, Strepsils. Hello in the downpour with the scratchy throat, take Strepsils.
Strepsils, with its soothing medicinal ingredients, will heal the harm done to your throat from external factors.
Strepsils! Strepsils! Strepsils, for a dry, itchy, raspy, scratchy.
Who am I? I'm a caregiver, a slayer,
Give them.
a boss lady, a foodie. I am the chief quality inspector and chief organizer. And when I'm cooking with my Maggie Star, I become a kitchen grand master.
Every day, you choose to make the difference. That's why you choose Maggie Star, made from natural soya beans and the other carefully selected ingredients to help you cook the difference.
I am the chief enjoyment officer, and I'm the magnet that brings my family together. Need I say more? But best of all, I love what I do.
With Maggie, cook the difference.
Now hear the angels sing.
Oh
Oh yes, it is our season of joy.
Be part of Radio Nigeria, NTA and Voice of Nigeria Annual Festival of 9 Lessons and Christmas Carols.
Come and be refreshed as we showcase music from various artists.
Join Deborah Enejo Samuel for the praise and worship session.
The Can Choir,
Children Choir,
instrumentals and scintillating solos.
Radio Nigeria, NTA, Voice of Nigeria choirs and a host of others.
We will be hosting you along with dignitaries from different parts of the country with the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, CFR, in attendance.
Our message giver shall be Reverend Israel Akonji of the First Baptist Church and CAN Chairman of North Central Region, Nigeria.
Theme, Jesus our Comforter.
Date, 16th December 2018.
Venue, National Christian Center, Abuja.
Time, 3 p.m. prompt.
Join Radio Nigeria, NTA, and Voice of Nigeria to commemorate the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ.
Because of Christmas Day.
Everybody dance now. Louder.
We are the strongest, no challenge can stop us, so Lord, and we are the brightest, no darkness can blind us. We are the strongest.
Malta Guinness is packed with B vitamins to fuel your greatness on the go.
It is good to know you're still out there watching News Extra tonight. Now, the saying, train a woman and you have trained a whole nation, is being re-echoed as Adolescent and Women Empowerment Foundation rallies support to empower women. Chimdima Ndubisi reports that the traditional institution is buying into the idea, with Etsunupe Yahaya Abubakar championing education for the girl child and women.
Gathered here are like minds with sincerity of purpose and passion to make a difference in the society. They want to pool resources and channel same to educate and economically empower adolescent girls and women through a non-governmental organization, Adolescent and Women Empowerment Foundation. This, they believe, will impact on national development and achievement of sustainable development goals.
Empowering women has to do with microcredits and entrepreneurial capitals being set aside for women.
Please join us all in putting smile on the faces of the less privileged ones in our society.
The traditional rulers, led by Itsunupe and Chairman, Niger State Council of Traditional Rulers, Yahaya Abubakar, are also of the same opinion.
We're in the world of digital advancement and development. So now it's both men and women that are the breadwinners of every family.
Life is all about contributing to the less privileged.
You're still watching NTA News Extra. We'll now be going live to the banquet hall of the State House in Abuja for the President's comments on the inauguration of Together Nigeria.
Members of the Diplomatic Corps, Chairman and members of Buhari Support Organization, the Buhari Organization, and Together Nigeria, party members, senior government officials, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure that I welcome all of you to this memorable event. Let me first congratulate and thank the organizers of this event for putting this together in a very special way. I feel happy to see people from different backgrounds coming together for a common cause such as this. I am particularly happy to be here face to face with some of our celebrities whom I only see on television. Tonight's event once again reminds me of our political struggles over the years and the support I enjoyed from many support structures such as the Buhari Organization and the Buhari Support Group. I am happy that today we are not only celebrating our election victory, but our numerous landmark achievements. I have listened and I acknowledge with delight the story of Buhari Support Organization, past, present, and future from previous speakers. In particular, I commend the plan to organize and reposition the organization towards the forthcoming election and beyond. This has once again given me further encouragement, hope, and optimism in our political journey. At this point, I would like to acknowledge with overwhelming support I enjoyed from individuals and organizations across the country over the years. I say thank you to all those who contributed to our successes in one way or the other. Some of you individuals and organizations may be feeling disappointed because we have not been able to please everyone. I would like to assure you that this time hard work and loyalty will be rewarded adequately. Finally, I wish to thank the Together Nigeria group who educated the world about our good work and achievements. I would like also to thank our celebrities for projecting the image of Nigeria globally and for our contributions to the development of our entertainment industries. To our team and supporters across the country and beyond, I say thank you for your continuing unrelenting support. I wish all of you present here a safe journey back to our various destinations. I thank you all, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
You're welcome back to the studio. That has been the President's remark at the inauguration of Together Nigeria. Moving on, many organizations and individuals are keeping up with the spirit of impacting positively on the lives of women. The latest is Hilal Natural, which organized an empowerment training for female participants in Abuja. Akimat Ali was there and now reports.
The event had a mix of girls, ladies, and women interested in improving their lives by elaborating and recreating what they can be, do, and accomplish through the skills acquisition platform put together by Hilal Natural Spa, which include making of skin beauty products and incense, popularly referred to as Turarenguta in Hausa language.
It's something that in Abuja here, it's quite hard to get, and I know a lot of people tend to ask about it. Okay, please, how can we get perfume? I've been asked a lot about it, and I was like, okay, why not try it?
But here I got to learn that there are organic things that we can actually use on our skins that are not harmful, and these things you can actually get from your kitchen and then around, which are natural. So I think this training will help me to decide what to actually use on my skin.
If I learn this, when I go back home, I can go and do it and start up a business, and we'll see where it goes from there.
The organizer, Hawa Baba Barao, says the empowerment initiative is her way of giving back to the society as well as promoting self-reliance in women.
IDP camps and other places, which I have seen that most of these victims are women, and most of them have to wait for people to come and give them rice, clothing, shelter, and what have you. But if you have something to do, something you can use around you, at least you can be able to help yourself, not waiting for another person or any NGO to come and help you. And these are the resources we have here in Nigeria. We have basically everything. All these organic skincare products, we have them. We have our rice in the kitchen. Your carrot, it helps you. We have so many herbs and spices, cinnamon, cloves.
I learned it from my mother. I grew up in it. She does it as a business.
The program is the second of its kind by Hilal Natural, and participants say empowerment of this nature, if carried out regularly, will help improve the economic status of a number of women in the society. Hakimat Aliu, NTA News.
It is indeed heartwarming to see that the youths are taking up the initiative of providing employment. Now, our next story, boosting agricultural activities for food sufficiency and economic growth remains an integral policy of the Buhari administration. The Giwa Grains Market in Kaduna State is an example of the impact of the policy. Abdullahi Muhammad was in the market to bring this situation report.
It's a clarion call that has been heeded to by many Nigerians, and within the last 3 years, each farming season attracts millions of Nigerians from all walks of life given a go at farming. Hajia Fatima Abubakar is one of the new converts, and her harvest is in surplus.
So what really motivated you to go into farming?
Because before I don't have any interest on farm. But due to the advert of the president and the government that we should all go back to farm and everything, so I just have the interest.
To assess and understand the impact of government agricultural policies, NTA News crew headed to one of northern Nigeria's agricultural produce market in Giwa local government area of Kaduna State.
Record volume of harvest this year has resulted in high supply of bags of grains in the Giwa market, and this has also forced sellers like these ones to offload their grains and sell by the roadside.
While the trucks keep driving in and men offload the bags of grains by the roadside, negotiations and exchange of the produce for money continue. Before midday, thousands of bags of grains have been offloaded, taking over about 2-kilometer stretch of the Zaria-Sokoto road, which passes through the town. Some farmers say the volume of harvest supplied into the market has increased significantly, overstretching the space originally allocated to the market.
But by this time, everybody in the market is very happy.
From Jibia, a border town between Nigeria and Niger, and the southeastern Nigeria, come two customers who never fail to show up on market days in Giwa. They not only agree with the increase in supply, but also enjoy the dividend of the economic theory of supply surplus.
If you buy something like 10,000 naira for a year, you are free to sell it like 12,000 for your place where you are selling your market.
I encourage whoever comes or finds himself in the local government should put his efforts towards developing the market, because it's very, very important.
Stepping out of the market, we were confronted by these men who obviously are happy with the fortunes of farming and the blessings associated with siting a produce market in their locality. In Kaduna, Abdullah Muhammad, NTA News.
Now, have you ever set out for a journey to meet up on a deadline and have been caught up in a traffic hold-up? Well, if your answer is yes, then you know it is not a good story to tell. That is the nightmare of travelers plying the Maiduguri-Kano highways and other major routes linking the east with the northwest Nigeria. Let's now join Abdullahi Garba to tell us how this is happening on market days.
This is Gashoko Market along Kano Maiduguri Highway, one of the notorious places where travelers find it difficult to pass on a typical market day.
This is the situation that remains a headache to travelers plying major highways linking northeastern part of the country to Kano. At least there are 3 major markets that observe their days on Sundays, Tuesdays and Thursdays every week. The annoying part to the travelers is how motorists based in these marketplaces turn highways into motor parks, picking and uploading passengers and goods. In fact, Highways are turned into survival of the fittest ground for motorists, wheelbarrow pushers, traders and pedestrians. Indeed, the sight is confusing and worrisome.
I suppose at least when I leave Gombe to Kano, I know at the normal hours, 4 hours, 30 minutes, I'm supposed to leave. But if I come during Sundays like this, it will take me like 5.5 hours.
A lot of hold up here, and we don't really like the way this place is.
We are doing our best. We go on motor park rallies. Yet these people, it's like they are not listening to radio and television. That's why we still
market.
This is the situation that remains a headache to travelers plying major highways linking northeastern part of the country to Kano. At least there are 3 major markets that observe their days on Sundays, Tuesdays and Thursdays every week. The annoying part to the travelers is how motorists based in these marketplaces turn highways into motor parks, picking and uploading passengers and goods. In fact, highways are turned into survival of the fittest ground for motorists, wheelbarrow pushers, traders and pedestrians. Indeed, the sight is confusing and worrisome.
I suppose at least when I leave Gombe to Kano, I know at the normal hours, 4 hours, 30 minutes, I'm supposed to leave. But if I come during Sundays like this, it will take me like 5.5 hours.
A lot of hold up here, and we don't really like the way this place is.
We are doing our best. We go on motor park rallies. Yet these people, it's like they are not listening to radio and television. That's why we still take it to their park.
Many interviewed caution that a stitch in time saves 9, and there is need to look into the problem before it leads to accidents. In Duse Jigawa State, Abdullahi Garba Bruno Kudu, NTA News.
National Environment Standards and Regulations Agency NESRA worried over pollutants. That's the outlook when we return in just a moment.
It's an African one.
This festive season, there's no place like home. Get a GoTV decoder and GoTenna and 1 month of GoTV Max subscription for only 6,900 Naira. GoTV. Live it.
NCC Tennis League. Amanzi Bakas has more on Sports Update.
This is the main bowl of the Abuja National Stadium, and Wednesday marks day 2 of the athletics events of the 19th National Sports Festival. Well, any moment from now, we expect the 100 meters men's final to take place, and in lane 1, we have for River State, Enoch Adegoke. Ushuarise Ishekuri of River State won the gold in 10.27 seconds in his first National Sports Festival, beating 3 national champions.
I'm looking forward to more achievements in 2019. It's a good way to start the season, and I thank God for the outcome.
Any moment from now, we expect the 100 meters women's final to take place, and in lane 1, we have Bolo Uwatife Margaret Bachelet from Ondo State. The 100 meters women's final is on in lane 1. Bukola of Ondo State. Bukola of Ondo State in lane 1 is the winner. 463. 463 is Margaret Bukola of Ondo State, winning the 100 meters women's final in 11.45 seconds, emerging victorious and taking the gold medal in the 100 meters women's finals of the 19th National Sports Festival in Abuja 2018?
I don't have any power, it's just God.
In tennis, Team Tech Vibes of Jos have emerged champions of the 2018 NCC Tennis League, beating Team Ofiko of Kaduna 4-0 in the finals, decided at the Lagos Tennis Club to earn the 7 million naira top prize money.
What is happening here is just evidence of my assertion that sports cannot be driven by government alone.
And that is why every year we commit resources to ensuring we live up to this important responsibility.
In the third place match, Team Leadway Assurance of Lagos defeated Team Goshen 5-2. Kene Emma Abodike reports that Kenneth Kochiku defeated defending champion Obina of Fordham 6-3-6-2 in the men's singles finals to emerge champion of the 2018 City Sports Club Abuja Annual Tennis Tournament, as winners equally emerged in the other categories of the veterans and doubles.
Discipline is the key word to excelling in tennis.
The club targets intensive grassroots development drive in 2019. For sports update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari extends heartfelt condolences to the Ikedife family, as well as the government and people of Anambra State, on the death of their illustrious son, Dr. Dozie Ikedife. A statement by the special advisor to the President of Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, indicates that the president also commiserates with the Ohaneze Indigbo on the passing away of the former President General of the Pan-Igbo Socio-Cultural Group. The president joins them in mourning the veteran obstetrician and gynecologist who spent over 50 years of his life as a medical practitioner, working bravely to save countless lives in the country and charting new developments in the medical field through research. As a medical practitioner, respected community leader and political actor, President Buhari believes that Dr. Ikedife will be sorely missed and honored for his commitment to the development of his community, devotion to his professional calling, zeal for democratic values, and passion for the preservation of Igbo ethos and tradition. The president prays God to grant the deceased eternal rest and comfort all whom mourn him. The death has occurred of Mama Rebecca Tor Aka at the age of 84 years. Late Mama Rebecca died on the 18th of November 2018. She was a devout Christian and a community leader. Burial arrangement as released by the family indicates that she will be buried on Saturday, the 15th of December 2018 in Katsina, Ala local government area of Benue State. She is survived by many children, including her son-in-law, a one-time executive director of engineering of the NTA, Isaac Wakombo. The death has also been announced of Elder Agu Ndukwe, the Agu of Abriba in Ohafia local government area of Abia State. And just before we go, let's take a quick look at the weather outlook for tomorrow, Thursday.
Thank you for joining us on the weather segment from the Nigerian Meteorological Agency. I am Taidi Helibwe. With dust being in suspension, this is expected to affect the north, keeping them in dust haze conditions with local visibility of about 3,000 meters. Moderate dust haze is also anticipated over the central cities with good visibility, while haziness is expected over the inland cities with sunshine intervals. Progressing into the day, partly cloudy skies are likely over the coastal cities, while the weather conditions over the north down to the inland cities remains the same. For the maximum temperatures across some selected cities, do stand by.
Well, I urge you to look out in our subsequent bulletins for the National Environmental Standard and Regulatory Agency. Nestria worries over pollutants in the country. And that's how it has been on NTA News Extra. We're glad to have you join us this week, and we hope you join us again. Same time, same